But I credit it all to them. I don't want to sound cliche when I say this, but I don't get any of that without every single teammate along the way. And I'm so grateful to be able to play with just, and I said it on the broadcast before, just selfless women. They give it their all every single day, and they're their pure selves. And that's what I love the most. And I'm trying not to get emotional. Because I'm gonna cry with you. But like, my teammates are the ones, they're the heartbeat. They get me going. I don't get 0 points, obviously, without them passing me the basketball. But just the way they show up to work every single day, just ready to play, ready to lock in. Things we go through in our personal lives, we lock in each other every single day. And that's what you see on the court. So the points are great. They're going to always be there. I'm never going to stop shooting. But the group that we have in this locker room is something that I'm so genuinely happy to be around. So I'm blessed. I'm super blessed to be able to do what I do with the people that I do. And I credit it all to them.
Speaking of them, Alicia, would you talk about the bench production today? And then Asia, if you follow up, 30 points, I think, 0 turnovers for the bench.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that's what helps championship teams. When you have depth, when you have people that you can rely on, and we have a bench full of professionals that are ready every single day, that put the work in, that are all-stars. I mean, anybody from our bench, have started, can go start anywhere else in this league and are choosing to come off the bench to be the supporting cast for our starters. And so when you have people like that are ready, especially right now, like that's going to be the separation factor as we get into playoffs. When you can use that depth, because games come really quickly, and having, 9-10 people that you can count on that can produce, that's going to be huge. So I'm super proud of my bench mob crew. We showed up, we were ready for today, and I'm proud of the way that we continuously show up and do our job well.
AC said it
all. All right. Alicia, Asia talks about the teammates, but for y'all to have somebody out there you can get the ball to in buckets just ready to happen, what is it like for you?
So, no, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be in this league long enough to play alongside some amazing players, some Hall of Fame players. And this one is no different, and that's something that I've always just kind of sat back and marveled at is, I've always been able to be like, well, you don't have so-and-so, well, you don't have Asia Wilson. And it really is, it's such a special time. And just to be able to be here and witness her greatness and the way that she goes about it and does it. My friend came up to me after the game. She was like, listen, everybody talks about Asia, but like seeing her in person, she is unreal. Like she is so good. She never stops. And it's always fun for me because I'm like, I see the hours that she puts in that nobody sees. She's her hardest critic. And, that's something that I'm like, I love playing with, because I know at the end of the day, I'm like, let me find where Asia Wilson is and let her go to work. And that's a luxury. It really is. And that's something that I think needs to be celebrated when you have players of this caliber that are playing now, appreciate that, because one day she's not going to be here. You know what I mean? She's going to retire and go on and live her life, and people are going to marvel at what she's done. And I'm like, marvel at it now. It's impressive. It's impressive as hell. And what she does on a consistent basis from day one of this season, there was no doubt who the best player in the world was. And she continuously shows up for us, pours into us. Man, and I can't speak highly enough of her. Like, even Roscoe, y'all did y'all's thing with this one.
Jose, go ahead.
Alicia, you talked about Asia's greatness. We can all see it on the court. But what is it about her as a teammate that does not get talked about that makes her so great?
I mean, yeah, I'm like, I mean, everything. No, I mean, Kelsey said it the other night. She's a phenomenal human being. And, again, I've been around a lot of amazing players. And the one thing that sticks out when I look at, I mean, even just like the post players, I guess I played with amazing guards, but when I look at the post players I played alongside, that one piece, that selflessness, like, yes, she's a superstar. Like, don't get it twisted. She is a superstar. But you would never know it being in her presence. She makes you feel welcome. She makes you feel seen and heard. And now I'm going to start crying.
Nikias, do you have a basketball-centric question?
No, I want to finish this because And you can't say nothing about me crying because you started it. But I think what isn't talked about enough is her humility. The way that people play on her name night in and night out. She shows up every day with a smile on her face. And it's hard. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, the crown is heavy. But she shows up every day and pours into those around her. And I don't think people understand how special that is for a person, for your franchise player, for your superstar, for your leader to be able to do on a consistent basis. Like, being a leader is hard in itself, but being a superstar plus leadership, like, that's insane. And that's why only a select few get that title, that get that job opportunity. And Asia exemplifies every bit of that. And you see it in the work she does in her communities. You see the way that she pours in to fans and make sure that they feel appreciated. So when you can have someone that makes you feel good, that makes you feel like you matter, is really special on top of what she's doing on the basketball court.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, thanks.
Thanks a lot, ladies. We can let you go.
Great,
Oh,
yeah, because I wasn't gonna make it. I wasn't gonna make
We'll be
it.
back in 48 hours.
Vicky got all the basketball.
Yeah.
How did that get?
With you on a basketball center question, I would assume.
On that front, congrats on the win, Coach. Two questions, if that's okay. One, on the offense, it felt like a whole lot of staggers or a whole lot of things out of the stagger setup tonight. What did you like about that setup? What were you trying to poke at with Indiana's defense?
Just trying to make the defense work, fight through screens, get some movement that was off the ball, make them guard on ball stuff. Just trying to mix it up a little bit. I mean, we do a lot of that stuff. Everybody knows our away series, but in the away series, there's so many calls and reads, and there's got to be about 15 play calls out of just our away series. So we're looking to exploit different things. Sometimes certain play calls lead to other certain play calls. We'll run one thing and then, run something else that we think might counter it. But really tonight, what we wanted was just the cutting. We know when we get cutters, we get bodies moving, we get ball movement, and that's kind of when we're at our best. But that's not what won us the game tonight. It was our defense. Holding that team in the 70s is a really tough task. So I was just super pleased with our defense more than our offense.
Thank you. On the defense, it feels like the switching in particular has gotten so much better over this recent stretch of games. I guess beyond that, what has stood out to you about this 6 or 7 game stretch? I think you now have the best defensive rating in the league over that stretch.
I mean, the attention to detail, we're locked in. We're doing our base well. And when you do your base well and you're locked in on the base, we know certain things are no-nos. And when we do those things, we tend to be on the same page, and we can get multiple stops in a row, which gives our offense, obviously, multiple opportunities. And that's the whole goal, is to, obviously limit their opportunities, but also not having to go against a set defense the whole time because you're taking it out of the net and your inefficiency offensively. So I've really liked where we've been the last 5 to 6 games defensively, even with New York. No rim protection, with Asia being out. I thought Kia played great. I thought our guard, that team, both these teams really have multiple 3-level scorers. They're just super, super dangerous, both the teams. Obviously, we came up a little short in New York, but we're figuring it out on the defensive end.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer?
Jennifer Porty from Let's Talk Women in Basketball podcast.
Let's talk,
What's
Jennifer.
another? Yes, Let's Talk Women in Basketball podcast.
Yes, I got you.
With another game against the Fevers coming up, what adjustment do you plan on making for the next matchup?
Well, I'm not sure I'd tell you if I knew right off the top of my head, but I figure we're going to try to do more of the same. Definitely some things we can clean up offensively, but defensively, that's a hell of a job. I thought Jackie was great on Caitlin tonight, just making her life tough. Even said when she got in, picking her up 94 feet, just making her work, making everything difficult. And as the game progressed, she played almost, a full game. Your legs start to wear. All that stuff has a buildup factor, even though she's young. It's exhausting to have Jackie Young guarding you all night. It just is, as well as everybody, so it's really a team effort, to try to contain a player like that. But everybody, the main thing was the main thing. I thought, our bigs doing a great job on their post players, obviously helped. And then the boards. So I just go back to defensively. We just got to be solid in areas that we know we need to be solid in, and the offense will come.
Nick?
With all the ebbs and flows of the season, and we're witnessing greatness in Asia Wilson, what are a couple of areas where you've seen her grow throughout the course of the season, on and off the floor?
Well, you look at her again tonight. I mean, first of all, every year she comes back better. You're really starting to see like a really, really gifted woman come into this like maturity stage of her, not only life, but like basketball career. Like she's as you can see, she's not just the best player in the world. She might be the most loved and adored by her teammates. I mean, this woman is special. I don't know how else to put it to you. She emits love. She emits joy, and it's contagious, and she cares about her teammates, and she cares about her teammates doing well. But, we've added a 3-ball to it this year, even though she didn't shoot any. Tonight, we've added a 3-ball, but her ball handling, and I go back to as many double teams as she sees, as much as she's getting hit and bodies thrown at her, 0 turnovers tonight. She is all-state. You're in good hands. She has that ball, and it's just really hard to get it out of her hands. She knows how to get to her spots. If you're bigger than her, she's faster than you. If you're smaller than her, she's bigger than you. And just a really unbelievable skill set and feel for the game. I don't know. I've kind of run out of adjectives, but this is one of the most lovely human beings you'll ever meet. And her teammates, you can feel that. I mean, you can feel it if you're around our team. And then, she goes out there and kills you on the court. She's a tough guard.
All right, just a couple more. Callie?
Coach, I'm not trying to get you in trouble or kill the vibe, but I just wanted to ask about that technical foul that you got. It's your 5th of the season, and I'm just curious kind of what you saw that led to that moment.
They were delaying the game. They were trying to look on the replay to see if they should challenge it, and they were delaying the game, and it's not right. I was trying to get the officials, to pass my player the ball so they could shoot their free throw. And while they're doing a long substitution and jabbing in and out of you can go look at it. Kelly, tell me how many seconds burnt off while they were deciding as a team whether to challenge the call. That's what I was upset about. That's what I voiced to them. It's not managing the game well. And so that's what I was letting them hear.
All right, last one, Katie.
And I fully deserved a tech.
Katie, go ahead.
Not to take us away from basketball again, I guess, but just you kind of hinted at it in terms of just the love that Asia experiences from her teammates. And there's a lot of emotion in this room tonight. And so from your perspective, just what does it mean to you to kind of witness your players just love on each other in this moment, especially with the kind of up and down season you all have had?
I mean, as a leader, you have to care about the people that you're leading, especially in a team setting. You know, it's not like you're a COO and you're over 300 people. This is a tight flock. And you want everybody to do well. But I just know that, like, happy players make better basketball players. I was one for 16 years. So I know when it's a feel-good game, it's a confidence game, it's a game of energy, it's a game of runs. And when you have contagious good vibes, that tends to bode well for basketball players and basketball teams. But of course, for me, you know, you obviously are building relationships. These are all just about building relationships and building trust. And I'm trying to get to where every one of my players feels empowered, encouraged, supported, validated, all the things, both on and off the court. And if you don't care about people, don't get into coaching, because that's the whole thing with coaching. You know, when I was going back and forth between should I do TV or should I coach, I'm like, you know what? I want to be in the battle. I want to be in the fight. These are the people that have always influenced me, which were coaches and teammates. You know, it's crazy. It's 9/11. I think I was 24 when that happened. I was in New York City. I was there, and you just see all these generations come through. And so to see a generational talent, and like I said, I've been in this league or in the NBA, whichever, for 25 years now. I've watched a lot of basketball, and to see someone's greatness like this on full display night in and night out, and then how she carries herself and how she treats her teammates is, like I said, I don't have any adjectives for it, but the way she loves on her teammates, if you don't care about the people you're journeying with, like, get off the trail, because on a journey, you guys are always helping, encouraging them to take the next step, to go the extra climb. Like, you keep pushing them, but you can push harder when people know you care.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We'll see everybody back here in 48 hours when we take on the Fever again. Tip is